If I walk into a salon and it's not clean, stuff is nasty, no. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. If you are new, welcome. My name is Gerline. I am a hairstylist of Blue Haven Salon located here in Jacksonville, Florida. We're talking about sanitation. Sanitation, because let's be real, you know, the cosmetology industry is an industry that's going through a lot. I would admit that a lot of things are not being regulated anymore. And so therefore, that means we have a lot of people who knows how to style hair, take on clients, but do not have the formal training or education on how to prevent the spread of germs, okay, microorganisms. And so therefore you are creating an environment that can spread from client to client, and we don't want that. And so today I am basically sharing a new episode about sanitation, and this is my series on the Solo Stylist. Whether you are a booth renter, a suite renter, have your own salon and you're the only stylist, or if you have an assistant with you, I'm sharing some tips with you to help elevate and help you grow in your business. If you are in cosmetology school or a freshly graduate of cosmetology school, these are some tips that's going to really support all of your education to really help you practice some of the things that we were taught in cosmetology school, right? All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. A clean salon, it builds trust immediately. All right, so when you walk into a space, it smells nice, it's clean, you know that you are about to receive a great experience. You're about to receive some great service, right? You don't have to question whether or not the implements are clean and sanitized, disinfected. You don't need to know, because you can see and know that, oh, they keep their place clean. I know the brushes are clean, the clips, the combs, everything is clean. We're not cross-contaminating nothing here. Okay, that is so important, because if I'm using the same comb on the previous client without cleaning it,
shut it down. Shut it down. No.
That's a no-no. We don't do that. Because this is one of the things that I was taught in cosmetology school. You want to treat everything, basically, you want to treat all the tools that you use on each client as if it has like a disease or something. Like, I'm not going to use this on somebody else. I have to make sure I properly clean it, sanitize it, and disinfect it. That's the thing. I have to make sure all of that is taken care of before I use it on somebody else. Period. I mean, it makes sense, right? Would you want somebody using something dirty on your hair that's just been cleaned? No. So therefore, that is something that we were taught from the get-go. I think that's what we started with. Chapter 1, or whatever chapter it was in the book, but whatever we did first, it was sanitation. Okay? They made sure we understood that, because, you know, if you think about a doctor, nurses, what they do when they first walk in the room, they're washing their hands. Okay, before you work on your clients, that's something else you need to be able to do. You need to make sure your hands are clean. Make sure your hands are clean. I let my clients know, I'm gonna go ahead and wash my hands before we get started. Let me go ahead and wash my hands. I could have just washed my hands. I'm just gonna say it so you know I'm about to wash my hands and my hands are clean. So it's just like a tactic, like, you know, when the doctors come in, they wash their hands in front of you. Even though the way my setup is right now, I can't wash my hands in front of my clients, but they can hear me washing my hands. So that's something that's very important as well for you to understand. The other big thing you need to understand is sanitation reflects who you are as a stylist. I'm gonna say that again. Sanitation reflects who you are as a stylist. So if you are a stylist that's not washing their tools properly, using Barbicide, making sure that if something falls on the floor, you're not going to just quickly pick it up and start using it again. That lets people know the level of professionalism. It lets them know exactly what type of stylist you are. And that's a problem because you're not making sure that I'm safe. So why would I want to continue to come in here? Okay, that's important. So let's talk about some daily sanitation routines that you should be doing all the time. Of course, your Barbicide. You want to make sure that once you properly clean all of your instruments, you want to make sure that you use the proper ratio for your Barbicide so that you are using it at the best rate. If you put too less of the Barbicide solution to water or too much, the efficacy of the product is not doing what it needs to do. So you're wasting product and you're not disinfecting. So read the label and follow the instructions. 10 minutes is the recommended amount of time that you need to allow the that you allow the instruments that you're using to stay in the solution, to be submerged in the solution, to properly disinfect it. You want to make sure that you're constantly wiping down your surfaces in your styling station, the floors. You want to make sure that those things are properly clean in between your clients. And there are times where I may have an overlap where I'm wrapping up one client, but then the next client come in. Before they sit down on the seat, I say, hold on, give me a minute. And I kind of wipe it down real quick with my wipes or my Lysol wipes, my sprays, because I need them to see that I'm making sure before they sit on this seat that I done properly cleansed it, sanitized it before they sit on it. Okay, that's important. That lets them know, oh, she gonna make sure the seat is clean. Yeah. And then you have some that don't care, but I'm like, hold on, give me a minute. And I quickly sweep the floor and everything, wipe down the counter and everything like that. You want to make sure that you're using fresh, clean towels. And you want to make sure your tools, not only that they're clean, they're put away properly. I don't like leaving my tools out because they collect dust. And so we don't want that, or anything that's floating into the air can get on your implement that you just cleaned. So I keep all of my tools in the drawer, and so they're properly organized in the section, and so that's how I have it set up. Now, when they're drying, I let them air dry, but I shortly after put them away. All right. So I like my space to be clutter-free, and that's one of the other things with my salon renovation. I just can't wait for the new equipment and furniture because it's going to allow me to really keep my space clutter-free, which makes it easier to keep all your surfaces clean. You don't have to keep moving stuff out the way. You can easily wipe. By the end of the day, by the end of your work shift, you want to make sure that you leave your salon clean. All right. And then I would say once a week, that's when you want to do your deep cleaning where you're wiping off your shelves, because I be seeing hair where I never knew hair could even land. Okay. I'm like, how did you get here? Because, you blow dry your hair and everything like that. So hair just be flying everywhere. But you want to make sure that you're, at least once a week doing your deep cleaning, mopping, moving furniture out the way to really get into the groove of things. So that's important too. Shampoo bowls are part of the process. Your bathrooms, your toilets, all of that plays a factor into your deep cleaning. The last thing I'm going to say to summarize this episode, I know this is a quick one, is that, your space allows your clients to feel safe. All right. It's a level of professionalism that I feel like a lot of people kind of like oversee. I do know, like, for example, a barbershop, there's a lot of hair cutting, but you should be cleaning in between each client. You should not allow a client to sit on top of previous client's hair. Ugh. You know what I'm saying? You want to make sure that, you're creating a space that is welcoming, inviting, and just like chef's kiss. You know what I'm saying? So let me know in the comments ways that you're able to keep your salon clean and keep your space clean, because it's a reflection of who you are, like I said, as a stylist, based off of how you keep your space. All right. You want to make sure that you are making an effort every day, every moment that you're in your space, to allow your space to represent who you are as a stylist. All right. So if you have any questions about anything I shared here, let me know in the comments below, and I'll catch y'all on the next one.